Welcome back to On the Record. We're up here in San Antonio, Texas with the CompTIA Breakaway show. And I'm speaking with Raphael Sanguily, who is the Director of Business Development from MSP University. So I guess you're sort of like the dean, are you?
I wouldn't say that. I help develop a lot of our strategic alliances, strategic partnerships, and I also run a lot of our training too. So I develop a lot of our curriculum for our partners and our premium members.
And you pretty well have taken over and a lot of the time over here at this show. And I mean, I've been hearing people come by every time I get to see anybody talking about how good the boot camp is. And so, Raphael, you run a boot camp to try to teach people how to either become MSPs or how to become better MSPs, depending upon where they're at. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So we try to teach our partners what it takes to have the core foundation and skill set to be successful as an MSP and really just an IT solution provider overall.
So the people who you're already trying to get to be more successful, that's great, and I'll leave that part to you to do on your own. What I really want to talk about is, right now we have in North America about 80,000, in Canada and the United States. Mexico's a whole different world. But you have about 80,000 VAR organizations. And of that, we know we're somewhere around 12,000 that have become MSPs, which 12,000 is a lot, but there's another 68,000 that haven't come over so far. So for these people, let's talk. There's two things I want to talk about, really. The first one is to understand what they have to do to become one. And then at the end of it, we'll talk about what the benefits are to them about becoming an MSP, both to their customers and to their personal life.
Sure.
And their financial life.
Okay.
So, first question, let's suppose that I come into the world and decide, I'm already in the world. I want to come into the MSP world.
Sure.
And personally, I'm a total useless, I'm almost a technophobia.
Okay.
I know how to turn my cell phone on and turn my BlackBerry off, and I'm going to learn one day soon how to actually answer the phone when it comes. But realistically, 9 out of 10 times when I get a second call on my phone, I lose it because I don't know what to push. If I want to become an MSP,
sure.
And I really believe, because I know enough about it now, that I could if I really wanted to be, without knowing technology. How do I go about it? So now these people who know technology, it should be a lot easier for them.
Oh, absolutely.
So how do they get started? What's the process?
So there's a few different things you got to look at. I mean, first, I think that let's talk about what we think an MSP is. An MSP to me is somebody who basically charges any set flat rate or fee or subscription for a set of services that they manage. That could be anything, right? So
when you mean that, you're talking about where they bill every month some amount of money, so a constant annuity.
Exactly, some type of annuity just for any type of set services. It doesn't have to just be help desk those things are some core components. Some core components have to be like help desk, vendor management. You have to have some type of remote assistance and those types of things like network monitoring. Those are basic core components of any MSP, but besides that, it's really much more about understanding from a business perspective what the business needs, right? If you think about it from this perspective, if you say, look, I want to be a business consultant, right? So I want to help a business out. If you think about what helps a business out, technology kind of really makes things even and really helps the businesses grow. So if you can focus on the business as a whole and just understand your strategies, you can plug in technology where it makes sense. If you charge a flat fee for those services, then you can be an MSP. Now the good thing is there's a lot of outsourced relationships that are out there right now. You can partner up with so many people to make all the technical life really, really easy. So all you have to focus on is focus on the business, focus on the business strategies, how to help them sell more, how to help them market better, how to help their operations and finance works a little better. And if you can charge a flat fee for those services and plug technology where it makes sense, you're an MSP.
So what's the advantage to the customer?
I think the advantage to the customer is they get somebody who's a trusted advisor in an area where they don't really have a lot of expertise in. I'm not a very technical person myself, but I do understand how business works. I understand a few different core verticals that I really know how to support really well, and I know how to advise on. So because of that, I think I can even plug in a few different areas where I know technology would help make the efficiencies a little bit better, help reduce costs, and help them get to their goals a little faster, without knowing exactly how to implement the actual technology myself, how to actually repair the technology. That makes sense.
And there's so many companies out there now. You've got break-fix companies who will come out and do all this stuff for you. You have, every way all along the road, you have people who will do that. You have people who will come in there and, I don't know, take an on-force, for example.
Sure.
They could probably run all the technology that you need for you. Then if you go with the next step up, you've got, companies like yours will help you get into it, and you have the people like the CompTIAs and the level platforms and the Enables of the world, or Zenus, we don't want to forget them, but who can help you with the whole platform of what you're working on in the back end, with people like the Autotask and who else? ConnectWise and TigerPaw.
Right.
So you get all these people in there. And I'm throwing around a lot of names, and I know they have to do it. For our audience, for people who aren't in there, these are names that are important to them because they have to make a choice as to which one. One of the things that we used to see was that people would sit there forever trying to figure out, okay, well, whose platform do I use, and who's this? What would your answer be to them?
If they're trying to choose what platform works, I mean, they're all great solutions. All those platforms, from a remote monitoring perspective to PSAs, those are all things that are just crucial to help their business operate more efficiently. And all I can say is it depends. It depends on what your business model's like. It depends on how your company's structured. They all have fantastic products. It's just really kind of matching what makes sense for your company, who you're trying to support, and then seeing which one of those products' specific niches will best match what you're trying to do for your clients.
Yeah, and really, if you look at them, they've got different offerings that more focus on the number of seats that you're going to have, the type of equipment that you're going to service. But at the end of the day, the difference between one to the other, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of serious differences between them. But if I was in their position, I would say, you know what, just go in there and get the smallest package you can get, start off with that, and upgrade as you need it, and change if you don't like the platform. It's really going to be more of a personality conflict or a good personality fit. And get in there and start. And I mean, the people who have done this, I've been saying this for, I guess, probably 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years. It's probably 5 years. Stop worrying about, is everything going to be perfect? Like, technology is never perfect. So how can you expect the platforms to be perfect, or the back engine to be perfect? It'll be good enough to get you started. You have to get your toes wet.
That's absolutely right. I mean, I think you have to just get started. The goal is that, look, pick one of them. Do something, right? Now, here's the good news. Again, a lot of times, depending on your outsourced relationship, you might not even need a remote monitoring tool right off the bat, right? As you build up your own help desk, you make a decision, do I want to outsource my help desk, or do I want to have something more internal? Then really what you're looking for is more of a PSA. So you have to think about a lot of things about how you want to structure and build your company, and what's going to be outsourced, what's going to be done internally. I think the main thing you should be looking at, I think, from an MSP, if you really want to get started and really be successful right away, is think about marketing and think about how to sell your company, how to really sell yourself, sell your services, and become a trusted advisor. If you know how to market and sell your services, the technical pieces are pretty easy. You can just figure out who can help you fulfill a lot of these other areas. But your first part of your business plan should be how to market, how to sell your services, and continually increase that annuity-based revenue.
Yeah. So, let me ask you the first question.
Sure.
How many one-person companies do you see who are becoming a managed service provider and being successful at it?
Oh, there's a ton. I mean, we have partners that talk to us. We work with thousands of partners all over the world. And, we hear a lot of one-man shops who have made a very successful practice of really outsourcing almost everything. All they do is have a really good assistant. So they have a really great admin person helping manage their calendar. And then they just focus on going out there and driving business, building those relationships. Really again, the businesses they focus on, the businesses they really know how to support, advising good strategic consultative advice. And they have awesome outsourced relationships that help fulfill a lot of the technical pieces that might be missing.
So I guess they have zero time left in their life, right?
Absolutely not. A lot of these have, again, it's all about work-life balance, but they do know how to make sure that they have a great admin, they have somebody who's focusing on those things, maybe a project manager, about as much as they would kind of go. For the most part, though, these guys, really understand how to just have a few key clients that drive a lot of revenue for them, so they're not have to supporting a lot of really, smaller clients who maybe take up a lot of time. That's another area of discussion we can maybe talk about is, what do we consider a minimum client or somebody we want to bring on that's really going to be profitable for us and really somebody's going to be more long term, right?
Yeah, so it's really a sale. We're turning it into a sales and marketing game, but it isn't just that. Because if they really want to be successful as an MSP, and you talk about what areas are you going to focus on, and why is that important to them, it's important because, well, let's back up one step.
Sure.
One of the biggest comments that I hear from from VARs who have not yet put their toes in the water is,
sure,
well, I don't want to lose my customer. I need that face-to-face contact with them. Are they going to lose their customers?
Not at all. I think you actually gain a little bit more strength and credibility with your customer. Because if you're not spending all the time doing the reactive firefighting, just kind of putting out fires all day, and you can actually have a strategic conversation that you schedule recurring, every week, every month, or however that works out for your client and you. But you actually go out there and talk about their business strategy. It really makes a more impact and create a deeper relationship, I think, than just being their guy that can fix things faster than anybody else.
Well, it's even more than that. You have to, yes, they are a trusted business advisor in most cases, and that's great. But when they come in, it's always because there's a problem.
Yep.
And so now you're looking at your customer, and the only thing they see, you walk in that door, and they're saying to themselves, okay, how much is this going to cost me this time? And that, it's a great relationship, don't get me wrong, and they've done fabulous jobs at keeping their customers up and running. But they're never going to get to that next step if every time that the customer sees them, they think, all right, what's down in my business, what's not working, I don't want to speak to him for more than 10 seconds because that's 10 seconds too much because people aren't getting their work done here because systems aren't up and over. So even if they want to ask their service provider, or their VAR for something, they don't do it because they want that guy to fix the immediate problem. Okay, I've got a problem, call him.
Exactly.
Right? And he's the computer guy. Now with this whole managed services and the cloud and all the rest of it, it's turning the focus to where VAR should be adding value, which is, help me find solutions that are going to drive my business forward, or help me lower costs, or help me make my staff more efficient, but they're business related. All of a sudden now, we're taking a VAR, and he's, instead of saying, okay, I'm going to spend all my time, and I mean literally all your time, because you're on call 24 hours a day now.
All day.
All day, 7 days a week,
Exactly.
And I know it because I have a lot of friends who are VARs.
Absolutely.
And I've now told them, I don't know if I explained this to you, I've got 3 good friends who are VARs, and I've told them, until you become a managed service provider, I don't make any plans to see me socially. And they looked at me and they go to me like, what do you mean? And I said, well, for years and years now, I've accepted the fact that you cancel on me, 3/4 of the time because you've got an emergency. Well, now there's no reason for the emergency. I'll let you carry your BlackBerry. I have no problem with that. And if you need 3 minutes to fix a problem, go ahead and do that. But don't cancel on me anymore. And the only way you're not going to cancel on me anymore is by, let's not make any plans. And so they sort of look at me and they go, well, and one of them, who's been a friend for like 15 years, turns to me and goes, you're not being serious, are you? I go, I'm being real serious. I said, for 15 years, I've accepted it. Now I don't want to anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we look at as one thing. I think you made a really great point. It's just having your business goals aligned. If you really truly partner with your clients, and you really care about your clients, you want to align your business goals. As an MSP, whenever they're down, it costs you money now too. So you're really in business with them, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to when something happens, and they have to call you. You're kind of, it feels, this is maybe bad to say, but you're kind of doing a little happy dance. You're really happy. You're actually happy that they're having some kind of issue, because that's when you can bill, right? So, if you think about it from that perspective, your business goals are really not aligned as a break-fix provider nowadays. And that's why most people, I think most clients are starting to realize they want more of a strategic alliance and more of a business partnership with their service provider.